Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on NTV At One. My name is Gladys Gachanja. Now, police have arrested dozens of youth who attempted to loot Airgate Mall as it was being demolished. The building's management confirmed it had been given 14 days to vacate the premises. The massive shopping complex sits on a reserve road.
Police shot in the air in a bid to prevent the crowd from looting shop inside the Airgate Mall as it was being demolished. Some youth who had managed to sneak into the building were blocked from stealing by police officers who had cordoned off the shopping complex. Some suspects were arrested. The exercise, which began at around 6:30 a.m., is being conducted by the Nairobi regeneration team as the government seeks to reclaim road reserves. The owner of the mall, Ramesh Chandra Govino Gorasia, had been given 14 days to bring down the multi-million structure in order to pave way for road expansion, but defied the orders. The exercise will likely take long as only one machine from the National Youth Service is being used. The mall is one of several structures that have been destroyed as the government seeks to reclaim road reserves and riparian land. Its demolition follows that of South End Mall along Langata Road, which has been sitting on riparian land. Seth Olale, NTV.
Now, we have been following up on that demolition and our reporter Leila Mohammed is on the ground. Now, Leila, the last time we spoke, the demolitions had been paused for a moment just to give way for the generators that have been powering the building to be removed from the basement. Has anything changed since?
Well, demolition is quiet for the moment and things are quite different from when Seth Olale was covering that story there. We have now 3 machinery here, and as you can see, they've been able to do a bit of damage. Gladys, if you can see, the supermarket that I was talking about still has stuff inside. This particular individual was not in a position to remove whatever was inside, and probably he could be one of the few people as collateral damage as this building continues to be destroyed. So there's more than just Ramesh who is really feeling the brunt of this particular day, but so many more Kenyans who had invested inside the Airgate Center are now facing various challenges. Maybe Shamason, my cameraman, can also see those kale and collard greens growing around this area, and this particular place, we are being told, is where a pipeline runs from the pipeline center into where they're being distributed, and that's why the Kenya pipeline officials are here just to ensure that that particular line is not damaged. But then again, Gladys, we are joined by one Eric Kambuche, a community leader of Embakasi South, and we will begin by asking him a very good afternoon to you, sir. What are the feelings of the people of Embakasi now that this building has come down this afternoon?
Good afternoon, madam. My name is Eric Kambuche. I'm a community leader in Embakasi South, and we saw it coming as the leaders of Embakasi South. We saw it coming, and this is I can say that I really fully support the president's initiative as far as acquiring government land is concerned, and this is another way of killing impunity in the country.
Speaking about impunity, when the police officers were trying as much as possible to ensure that demolition was going on, a number of youth tried to access this facility and they stole from the property managers here. What are some of your concerns as a community leader from Embakasi?
As a community leader, we believe in rule of law, and whatever they were doing, we condone it. And though we know that this is a problem that is facing many youths in Kenya as unemployment, but we condemn any act of violence or looting. Thank you.
So Gladys, we've been speaking to Eric Kambuche, a community leader here in Embakasi South. So maybe I can just take a walk and show you what's going on around this area. We are at the Airgate Center. We've been here since morning. I'm just giving my cameraman Shamasan some time to be able to get ready for us to take a walk. We don't want to destroy the collard greens that are being growing here, but the generators are still being removed from this facility. We were being told they were the reason that the demolition very early in the morning could not continue. But then the wall were able to deal with, and then again, this is how far demolition has gone on in terms of what the Sunny machines have been able to do this particular afternoon. The supermarket is still stocked. I can see shelves of batteries and so much more. Those were Kiwi machineries in this particular supermarket. So this particular individual will be really, distraught in terms of losing of property once this building comes down. So this doesn't look like it will get done today, Gladys, but then again we hope to see how far the demolition will be able to be done at the end of this particular day. Gladys, I don't know if you have any more questions for me as we take a walk outside this particular facility. You can see on the other side the police are here just to ensure the security of this area is up to standard. Earlier we were seeing crowds all the way up to North Airport Road. There were crews of young men and women who had gathered outside here, and the police have been able to manage to really remove them. At this particular place, I can still feel the stinging of the tear gas that was thrown here a few seconds ago. Let me just move away and give Sunny an opportunity. So this is how far they have been able to destroy on this particular site, and this is much destruction they've been able to do here. Gladys, from where I'm standing, I can feel the stinging of the tear gas that has just been thrown on this side of the road to disperse other crowds.
Leila Mohammed speaking to us from Embakasi South, to be specific, at the Airgate Center, formerly known as Taj Mall, as it is as we speak under demolition. Now those activities have been paused temporarily just to give room for the generators that powered the building to be removed from the building. But then again, as she mentioned, this operation could still go on, but we are awaiting more details coming from her. Remember, this mall has been or was the subject of a protracted court battle during the construction of Outer Ring Road, and the Nairobi regeneration team made good of their word to come back 14 days later and demolish it. While still waiting for the owner, that is Ramesh Gorasia, to speak to us on his feeling on the same. Well, more than 100 children have been left homeless after a place they called their home was demolished last evening. Now, the Overcomers Caring Ministry Children's Home, which is located in Rongai, is a safe haven for orphans and vulnerable children. The center had been earmarked for demolition as it is located on a road reserve.
135 children of Overcomers Caring Ministry were forced to spend the night in the cold after a place they have called home for more than 10 years was demolished. The home was brought down on Friday evening. The children watched helplessly as heavy machinery flattened their home to make way for a new road. The center, which is located in Rongai, caters for vulnerable children.
This place we were given some years back by the former PC Maina, with the help of the DO, who those times we were having district officers in Kibera. The road was not showing 60 meters by third time. It was averagely 30 meters according to the approved fiscal plan. That opened up a door for well-wishers and friends to put up the structures that you see here. We never realized it was a road reserve.
Last month, the institution was given a notice by the Kenya National Highways Authority to vacate the road reserve. But according to the management, the notice given to vacate was too short.
They gave us a notice on 23rd saying that after 30 days, make arrangements of moving. I was told they are demolishing. I showed them the notice. Nobody was listening. We felt the way we were, it was not clear in the approved plan. Then it's not clear on the notice. It brought total confusion.
The management says it has nowhere to take the children.
They have put the kitchen down. The toilets have been crashed down. I was pleading to them, gentlemen, the road is not going to be built tomorrow. In honor of God and these orphans who do not have a father, kindly give us just 2 days or 1 day. We will remove all this material to help us put a shed where we are going to shelter these children. Nobody was listening.
According to Kenha, the home was built illegally on public land. The demolition is to pave way for the construction of the Ngong Road, Kibera, Kiunga, Karumba, Langata Link Road.
Away from demolition matters to security matters, while a humanitarian crisis looms in Nesui, Njoro area of Nakuru County following intercommunal conflict that has seen many people displaced and families having lost their homes as they went up in flames. Now there is heavy security presence in that area, and I am informed that the regional commissioner is talking to the press as we speak. Listen in.
This. Then
is it attacked or incitement?
No, I wouldn't wish to answer that. I'm sorry, but it's still part of the ongoing work. So I wouldn't wish to go to those details.
So maybe, Mr. Commissioner, we are live on NTV right now. Let me just give a brief. Gladys, you have just come to us at a time when the regional commissioner has concluded his statement. He was clarifying on the statistics on those who have died and on the operation that is still ongoing in that area. He has said that the 6 to 6 curfew is still in force and there are enough boots on the ground. But since it's here, let's just have a brief with him right now. Mr. Chimwaga, Commissioner, you have said that there's an official number of people who've died, and also the operation, where is it right now, and why have you also shut down some of these schools, telling people to go back to their homes? What has informed that decision, and is the place now secure for people to go back to their normal lives?
Okay, that's quite a bunch of questions. Yeah, the first one has to do with the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Restriction of movement. A curfew entails some other legal aspects that have to be observed. So let's be clear first on that. Yes. We are restricting movement because of what is going on. The objectives, you as well as everybody else here appreciates why we need to do that. Now the second one was to do with the schools. We didn't close the schools. When this situation started on the 11th, yes. And by the way, it started on 11th. It's not 2 weeks ago. Yes. Yeah. So on 11th, when it started, some of the schools we observed some low enrollment. Yeah. Very few people would come, and then even the teachers, not the normal number would report. So those are the schools we are saying. From Monday, we want everything to go back to normal. We have made those arrangements, as I stated earlier, with the commanders here. The number of schools has already been picked. It's what I gave you earlier. And, our only plea was that we had some leaders who had asked some people to go to these schools, to take refuge. And we are saying we cannot be agitating to have schools go back to normal when we are creating camps in the same schools. So we have to pick what is for the public good. In this particular case, we want our kids to go back to school, and we are requesting anybody who is in those schools. I think there are 1 or 2 classrooms that are occupied in 2 schools in Molo, and we are saying they go back to their homes because we are assuring of that security.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've also mentioned about the arrests that have been made. Maybe can we have an official record on how many people have been arrested so far, and what is the way forward? You've mentioned that by Monday some of them will be arraigned in court.
Yeah, I stated earlier that so far we have 10. We have 10. Sorry. We have 10 in custody in this police station we are standing in. On the Narok side we had 29. Yeah, but on the Nakuru side we have so far 10. Yeah, and the process is still going on. The DCI is busy doing what they do best, and our expectation is by Monday, they should appear in court.
Okay, finally, you've broken some of these camps. You've also explained the reason why you have told these people to move out. It's because you want by Monday schools to be reopened in readiness maybe of the national examinations in the coming 2 weeks. There's a sense of some of those people who've spoken to on the ground are saying that as much as you've said on record that you did peace barazas, they still don't feel that they've been wamepatanisha, if I should say that in Kiswahili, that they have been reconciliation with the influence of the government. So they feel like that there's still that bad blood between the aggressors and those who are aggrieved.
Thank you. Whenever we have a scenario like the one we have, we know what led to the initial act is basically a trigger. But of necessity, we have to appreciate that there must have been some underlying concerns from both communities that may have been around for some time. Yeah. Now, this is the time we need to first we bring calm, then we start looking at what are these underlying concerns, and we tackle them so that we have durable solutions for them to coexist. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Gladys. That was the Regional Commissioner, Rift Valley Regional Commissioner Mongo Chimwaga. He was giving the status update of what has been going on here in Njoro sub-county, especially in Neswit area. He was giving a status report saying that there is enough security in the area right now. A sense of normalcy has returned. Some of those the families that were camping at public schools have been asked to go back to their homes or seek refuge with their relatives as the operation continues, and it is a restriction, rather not a curfew, a 6 to 6 restriction of movement that is in place, and this will be ongoing until there is enough calm. He's saying that they will now move towards bringing these communities together after calm has been restored. Gladys.
Thank you, Bridget Sangana, speaking to us from the Neswit area of Njoro, Nakuru County, where there has been intercommunal conflict. Many have fled their homes and were taking refuge in schools. As the Rift Valley Regional Commissioner has said, he has assured them of his security. They can go back home to ensure the schools are reopened on Monday, but of course insisting that the 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. restriction of movement is still in force. We shall keep you updated on the same as and when we receive more details. Now, 2 members of parliament from Kericho now want Narok Senator Ledama Olekina investigated over the escalating clashes in Mau Forest. The 2, Nelson Koech representing Belgut and Kipsengeret Koros representing Soin Sigowet, say there is sufficient evidence that utterances made by the senator have sparked clashes in the region.
Tumeona watu ambao walikuwa na madaraka zaidi ya juu sana, ambao waliumiza watu, lakini mwishowe you will take the responsibility. The law will catch up with you sometime, someday.
Na tunaomba serikali wachukue hatua ya kuhakikisha kuwa hao wanasiasa kutoka Narok County ambao wanapanga wakalejino vushwe kule wastakiwe.
Now, a section of members of parliament have lauded the move by President Uhuru Kenyatta to have the newly imposed fuel tax. Some of the parliamentarians also say that the government should have identified alternative ways to raise funds needed for projects other than taxing fuel projects. Here are some of the views.
Hata ikiwekwa 2%, 3%, umaskini ambayo kuongezwa kwa bei ya mafuta italeta kwa wananchi itaumiza watu. Nataka nimuombe rais Uchumi ya Kenya inaendelea kuharibika. Usiweke ushuru kwa mambo ya mafuta. Zuia kidogo. Ndio maisha ya hao watu hizorote.
Going to think about normal mwananchi who is suffering. Because once we had even 1%, the problem with Kenyans is that we have people who double even the prices. Even when it was 16%, the fares were calculating more than 300%. So we don't want to give people excuses to hike the prices of commodity in Kenya.
The tough decision you have to make. Balancing between the revenues you are supposed to generate to support the economy and the infrastructure development, and making sure that the cost of living is also manageable and affordable to Kenyans. So,
kwa sababu hii kitu tulianza 2013, mkasukuma 2016, juzi mkasema isukume mbele. Jameni, hata mkisukuma mbele haitatusaidia uchumi yetu. Tafuteni mbinu nyingine ya kupata fedha ya kuendeleza maendeleo katika Kenya. Wachana na hiyo, maana Wanakenya wamesema hii itatuumiza.
Well, apart from reducing the taxes on fuel, the president yet again announced proposals to cut non-priority spending such as travel, trainings and seminars, which gobble up billions of shillings. But this may be the latest in a string of similar pronouncements made by the Jubilee administration, as NTV's news producer Sheila Sindeo now tells us.
Strapped for cash, the government has been scrabbling to find new ways to balance its books. And so it has often been preaching the austerity gospel in a crusade of budget cutting. This is yet again a fallback plan for a government saddled with huge loans, a budget deficit, and little financing options.
The cuts target less essential spending, such as hospitality, foreign and domestic travel, training and seminars.
The genesis of this austerity gospel was born of 3 days of soul-searching for the president and his cabinet at the foot of the Mount Kenya at the start of his administration. The president then announced what were seen as drastic measures to ease the burden on the taxpayer.
I'm also glad to announce the following additional measures which will demonstrate our firm resolve to prudently manage the funds which Kenyans have entrusted to us. My deputy and I will take a 20% pay cut, and our cabinet secretaries and principal secretaries have accepted a 10% pay cut with immediate effect. Second, we will draft a new international travel policy which will restrict foreign journeys to none but the most essential.
But it seems not even the government has been a believer.
Tumeambia mawaziri wetu kila mtu akuwe na Passat ile kari kidogo ile basi kutoka ofisi kwenda nyumbani na kurudi. Maneno hii ya kuhangaisha wananchi barabarani, kila mtu anasukuma huyu, mwingine anasukuma mwingine, hiyo maneno tuwache.
Since then, there appears to have been an exodus from a truth that those in office once firmly believed in.
There was a feeling that they were going to bring some fresh air. Instead of having a 22 cabinet as stipulated by the constitution, he had an 18-member cabinet.
At a time of economic hardship, when belt tightening was the watchword, the government, both at the national and county level, has been blowing up billions in travel and hospitality, according to the Controller of Budget, in defiance of the austerity drive that aimed to cut non-essential spending and free up cash for development, and in a business environment where income trails targets.
And you can rest assured those trips will still continue. So we say so much on paper, but we don't follow it with action.
Such measures to freeze non-essential spending can steer the economy back on the recovery path. The president is once again making an assurance to ease the pain.
These budget cuts ask all of us in government that we tighten our belts. It also ensures that the sacrifices made by tax-compliant Kenyans are matched by discipline from all of us in the public service.
But even then, this may be another big if. Sheila Sindeo, NTV.
More than 2,000 small business traders in Kitengela fear they will lose millions of their money after a suspected fake Sacco closed down without notice. Now, Wainside Sacco had 3,000 registered members from Kitengela, Mlolongo and Isinya. Members stormed the Sacco offices demanding their savings only to find their directors missing. The small-scale traders say that they have been saving between 50 and 5,000 shillings daily, and the members are now calling for the government to intervene.
Ini ya members wa Kitengela hawa. Unaweza ona numbers.
Na mimi nilikuwa na save pesa hapa kwa hii chama. Sasa huyu mtu alitudanganya, akatudanganya atupea loan. Kuenda kusaini loan ya kwanza ikakaa miezi 2 ijafika. Sasa hiyo umesave pesa, hakuna pesa inatoka. Dakika ya mwisho tumeenda tukapata ofisi imefungwa. Hakuna kitu tumerudishiwa.
After kufunga ofisi tumejaribu kufuatilia. Tuonekana tunaweza pata pesa zetu, lakini imekuwa in vain. Hatujawahi ona watu walihamia hapa. Zile vitu hata walibomoa ile ofisi huko, tunaona vitu zingine wamejenga nazo huku. Zile vitu ni pesa zetu hizo.
A group of senators led by Uasin Gishu County Representative Professor Margaret Kamar have given the County Assembly a clean bill of health ahead of the forthcoming Senate plenary session. Baringo Governor Stanley Kiptis, Uasin Gishu Governor Jackson Mandago, Elgeyo Marakwet Governor Alex Tolgos and West Pokot Governor Professor John Lonyangapuo will appear before Senate's County Public Accounts and Investment Committee to answer to audit queries raised by Auditor General on the 2014-2015 financial reports. Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Reforming NCPB will also hold public hearings at County Hall, Eldoret.
Because you expect the public and the businessmen to come in, and then we'll have another public hearing on the maize issue, not just maize, but food security as one of the big 4. So we will be having very interesting sessions, very interesting interactive sessions between the Senate and the County Assembly counterpart committees, and we know that it's going to be a good opportunity.
Pupils in Nairobi County's early childhood development education centers will from next week start receiving free milk twice a week. The program was unveiled by Nairobi Governor Mike Sonko in partnership with Brookside Dairy Limited at Martin Luther Primary School in Makadara constituency. The project will see delivery of a packet of milk twice a week to each of the 17,000 children in all the county's public early childhood development education centers. Further afield, the biggest storm of the year, Super Typhoon Mangkhut, smashed through the Philippines early Saturday, claiming its first victims as 2 women were killed when a rain-drenched hillside collapsed on them and another drowned in Taiwan. The massive storm cut a swath of destruction when it struck the northern tip of Luzon Island, threatening the lives and homes of roughly 4 million people. As a powerful storm left the Southeast Asian and barreled towards densely populated Hong Kong and southern China, such teams in the Philippines began surveying the provinces that suffered a direct hit. Mangkhut was parking sustained winds of 170 kilometers per hour and gusts of up to 260 kilometers per hour as it left the Philippines. A woman and her baby were killed when a tree fell on their house, and several more storm-related deaths were reported Friday as Hurricane Florence slammed into the Carolinas. Now, hundreds of people needed to be rescued after becoming trapped in their homes by a storm surge up to 3 meters in New Bern, a town of 30,000 in North Carolina, at the confluence of the Trent and Neuse rivers. As of midnight GMT, Florence was downgraded to a tropical storm by the National Hurricane Center, but authorities warned the danger was far from over, predicting life-threatening storm surges and strong winds would persist through the night. In China, Roman Catholics in the country are running out of space to worship as the atheist communist government steps up a campaign to ban religions and demolished all neighborhoods to make way for development projects. Now, a government sign outside a Catholic church in central China warns that children are not allowed to attend mass. Illegal churches are being bulldozed. Now, priests are handing over personal information about their flock to the authorities. The standoff was split or has split China's roughly 12 million Catholics between those who follow government-approved prelates and those in underground pro-Rome churches. Well, to that developing story of the Airgate Center, formerly known as Taj Mahal, being demolished this morning, I am informed that we could have the owner, Ramesh Gorasia, speaking to the press. Let's listen in.
I would say is wrong to demolish this mall. Or people who have given me purportedly say they on the road reserve. Okay? So, and the good thing with the land issues, they are all documented. Starting from the title, starting from the change of user, starting from the approval. Drawings were approved 7 times. So, they are all there. So I don't know whether DCI today I was told that they don't work at CID headquarters.
When did you get the approvals to start construction here?
This was, I started from 1995, first approval was in 1995. So this has been going renewal until 1987, then the building was completed.
Which particular government agencies gave the go-ahead to construct Taj Mahal?
That authority is City County, Nairobi City Council. Now you're calling it Nairobi City County. Those are the people who have given authority to build, and I'm sure they have given authority based on the title which was correct, whereas land rates all are paying. So all the documents are there in place. So I want a DCI, either the people who have issued me all these documents, everybody, each and everyone, or the people who have demolished. And this is my request.
Concerns from government that you have constructed on a road reserve?
Not at all. After completions, they have started complaining. Not when I was constructing. Because at the time, Eastern Bypass was being built. At the time I was building simultaneously my Taj Mahal. And nobody has objected that Taj Mahal is on road reserve.
So probably what, in terms of monetary value, how much have you lost here?
101 billion.
Are you going to be seeking legal redress? Call this because the last time you spoke to the press, you dared the government to bring the bulldozers to this site, and they have.
Let me not comment anything, okay?
We see that there are some tenants who haven't removed their products from the site. How is that about?
Well, we'll request the police to allow them to take it. If they don't allow them, maybe they will know what to do.
So what is your next action after this? What happens to Taj Mahal? What happens?
In fact, I'm right now going to the Embakasi police station to report the matter as a malicious damage to my property. So if you want to follow me.
Well, Gladys, that is the owner of Airgate Center, and he says his next point of action will be the Embakasi police station, where he is going to report officially destruction of his property. And he says he got all the right authorization from what was the Nairobi City Council in the early 90s to construct, and he says he was only told that he has constructed on a road reserve after the building had been completed. He is a very bitter individual this afternoon and says he has all the legal documentation to show that this building is legally and rightfully standing where it should be. So this is the latest in terms of the demolition that has been going on in Embakasi. There's more that is going to happen in the afternoon. The police say they will stand in until the demolitions, until it's quite dark and ready for the next day, and government says it is not going back on its decision to bring down this building. Gladys.
Layla Mohammed speaking to us from the Airgate Center, formerly known as Taj Mahal, which is going through or is being demolished. As you heard from Ramesh Garcia, as many are saying, is a subdued man today, contrary or a contrast from the man who dared the government just a few weeks back to come and demolish his mall. He has said, as Layla has mentioned, that he has all the legal documents to show that he had been given the go-ahead to construct Airgate Center, formerly known as Taj Mahal. We'll keep an eye on this developing story and keep you updated on the same. For now, we cross over to the sporting world.
Cheza